Well, thank you. Thank you for having me today. I am as Dr. Victoria Hart, and I will be speaking on the message of agape love. Most likely, I will be taking up the full 2 minutes that I am going to be allowed. So let's get started with a word of prayer. I ask that the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart to please be acceptable in your sight. I ask for the listeners to please be blessed tenfold for the time that they're taking to hear the message today. I ask them to share the message with at least one other person that they are guided to do so. I ask for their safety in their travels. Amen. Sai Baba, who I've had the pleasure of visiting his ashram and actually staying there for a while, I give a quote from him on all acts of service are meaningless unless they're given in love, unquote. This is something important to remember as when we're giving in any kind of way. The rich variety of world religions create a tapestry of amazing beauty, a testimony to the essential spiritual nature of our human visit on earth. And yet within this amazing and sometimes fascinating diversity can be found an equally amazing unity. Could the basis for unity be agape love? Agape love means feeling and expressing pure, unlimited love for every human being with no exception. It gives of itself and expects nothing in return. Can you imagine what our world could be like if developing such a divine quality was a goal for people of our world? Does agape love come closest to describing the kind of love which our Creator loves His creatures, which are us? Among the greatest legacies of Judaism has been its focus on fulfilling responsibilities and duties. In this instant, agape becomes more than a warm feeling. It is also action. It entails being true to God, to the 10 Commandments, and to the responsibilities toward family and neighbors as set forth in the eternal precepts. It means turning to goodness, truth, mercy, charity to direct our actions. Agape affirms living an ethical life according to the highest traditions. The reality of love lives within all of us and often is found in the still small voice of our sacred selves. Agape in the Christian context also means loving our enemies. In his Sermon on the Mount, Jesus told the people, quote, "You have heard that it was said, you shall love your neighbor and hate your enemy. But I say to you, love your enemies and pray for those who persecute you," unquote. Christian love is not an isolated action. Rather, it is a way of life, a habit in search of constant expression. No time for agape is too soon. No setting for agape is inappropriate. No recipient of agape is unworthy. Such is the nature of unlimited love eternal. One does not have to look far to discover the call to agape in the Islamic context. The opening chapter of the Quran and 2 of his 3 lines refer to Allah as the, quote, "the merciful, the compassionate," unquote. Indeed, mercy and compassion are primary manifestations of God, and followers of God are all called upon to embrace these characteristics. Islam teaches that love for God is corroborated through love for neighbors, and that it is impossible for those who do evil to do good. Let's repeat this whole sentence. Islam teaches that love for God is corroborated through love for neighbors, and that it is impossible for those who do evil to love God. The Hindu religion provides a basic rationale for the ethic prescription by the Golden Rule, for it teaches that all reality is ultimately one in being and in function. Because all human beings are in some sense one, and indeed because all creatures is one, the only way to treat others is with respect, kindness, justice, and compassion. Hindu spirituality recognizes that there is meaning beyond the individual self and beyond material possessions and earthly pleasures. This emphasis does not come at the expense of agape love, but rather as a supplement to it. In the Hindu context, agape is the byproduct of bhakti yoga, the realization of God through love. In a sense, the religion of Buddhism was born out of agape, out of a willingness to sacrifice on behalf of the suffering people of the world. Buddhists who are in touch with their religious heritage reflect the moral qualities of compassionate caring. They are full of love and are ready to sacrifice selfish desire for the benefit of others. Would it not be wonderfully beneficial for all of us to learn these spiritual values? Can you imagine the heaven on earth that we would live? Seeing agape love in the Tao is like trying to separate a wave from the ocean. It is difficult to see either agape or the wave as separate from the whole. It is the source, the name, and the unnamed, the first cause. The Taoist concept agape love begins with an effort to address what is wrong. To the Taoist, addressing what is wrong is not so much a question of efficient problem solving as it is a matter of the heart. To many people worldwide, the name Confucius is virtually synonymous with wisdom. And he said, quote, "Listen to the still small voice. It tells us to follow the ways of holiness and asks us to sanctify our days with kindness. The still small voice is not the wind, the shaking of the earth, or in fire. The still small voice is heard in the hearts of those who listen." Unquote. His was wisdom deeply rooted in the love and respect for others. Does the world need more of this great wisdom? Some people treat love like a quality that can be exhausted. They are careful not to use it up, perhaps in not loving others for fear there may be none left for family and friends. Agape, however, is unlimited. It cannot be used up. In fact, to Confucius, agape was quite the opposite. The more we love, the more capable we become of loving. Agape love is a deliberate choice that each of us make. It resembles an exercise program. When a person signs up for a program like running or lifting weights, persistence or perseverance are necessary to successfully recognize the many benefits of love. The same can be true of increasing our ability to love in an unlimited way. We exercise every day, and as we do, we become increasingly ability to develop a habit of loving unconditionally in an unlimited manner. Love grows. Love does not hoard. It doesn't dwindle. In closing, what could be the benefits if we no longer said hello or how are you as a greeting, but always said instead a simple, I love you? What a message. I pray that it touched you in some kind of way and made your day better. I pray that you take the words in heart, because I know the world will be a totally different place if we followed some of the examples that were just discussed. I'm Ask Dr. Victoria Hart, and any comments or suggestions, I can be reached at AskDrVictoria@lightyourpurpose.com. I am a messenger as well as an advocate for you getting your divine purpose complete on this planet, because I live mine in bliss and joy. Be blessed.